Hi, friends. How do you wire an interface to intent? That's the real problem to solve, an opportunity for creating radically adaptive experiences. These are interfaces that are aware of context and intent in order to respond in real time to create the right experience for the moment. So we're going to give it a try here to show exactly how this works. This is a custom GPT that I've created just to sort of sketch out the concepts for how this would work for a city tour. And what we want to do is create a system where you can ask questions about a city and the system will respond not in text, like in traditional text dialogue, but with UI to provide the right UI element for the moment. So what we're really doing is we're creating chat where the user is talking to the system, but the system isn't talking directly back to the user. It's giving instructions to a rendering system for how to display the right UI element. Let's take a look at how this works. We've got a core system prompt here that's just simply saying that we're going to ask questions about exploring a city and telling the system specifically figure out what the user is trying to do. What is the intent? And based on that, figure out the right design pattern to show. We're not going to actually have it return the answer directly. We're going to have it provide the format in JSON. This is not something the user would ever see, but it's something that the UI rendering system, the system that's driving the interface, would catch and use. So we're actually asking the language model to give instructions to the interface for what to display. And we're giving it some simple instructions here to sort of state the user's intent, to name the design pattern to use and why it chose it, and then to give a data object for it. So we're just sort of sketching out how this will work. This is sort of more of a pseudo prompt, the way that developers make pseudo code. Think of it the same way of drawing a sketch of an interface. So we're sort of sketching a prompt here. What we're doing is we're providing available design patterns. So we might have something called a quick filter, or a map, or a card feed. And for each of these, we're saying what intent that maps for. So you use a quick filter when you're looking for high-level suggestions. You use a map when you're looking for nearby points of interest, or use a card feed for discovering and browsing recommendations. So we provided a few of these. In real life, we would also be providing kind of the data structure for how to use these, the properties for it, but you get the idea. This is just sort of directional to how do you tell a system to map intent to interface. So let's give it a try. We've got some prompts here. You could put anything in, but let's go ahead and use one of these suggested ones. What are the best kinds of things to do in Austin? Let's specify Austin, Texas. Why not? And you'll see it's coming back in JSON. So again, this is something that the interface, the client, would interpret to show, in this case, a quick filter. It's realizing that I'm looking for high-level suggestions for activities and attractions. And so it's giving me the options and some data. So we can actually just reply, well, I like barbecue and food. So it's as if I've just like clicked the options in the quick filter. And now it's coming back with some recommendations. And here it's chosen a card feed. I've selected as category, so now it's best to show individual restaurant and food spot recommendations with images and details. Card feed works well here. So great, I've got some options and I can, choose one. How do I get to Franklin? And now it's choosing a route wizard, which is one of the components that we had offered for that use case for how to get to step-by-step instructions. And it's actually kind of giving instructions in here, assuming that I'm in downtown Austin. So that's really it's as simple as that, is just sort of say, hey, what's the intent of my question? And here's a set of components that answer those questions. In real life, again, we would be probably providing more specific data, and we would be hooking this up to a reliable data source rather than just relying on ChatGPT here. But it's as simple as that for sketching out how do you map and wire interface to intent. Thanks, everybody.